why your manifestations are taking so long, and what we can do today to make that change. We are here for rapid transformation, and the reason why I am so pumped out about this is because in the last 90 days, I've completely transformed my entire life. 90 days is a blink of an eye, and it all comes down to understanding that the only reason that you're not getting what it is that you want is because of the way that your default system is wired, because of your belief system. Otherwise, there's nothing outside of you, there's no blockage, there's no challenge, there's nothing that is actually in the physical world preventing you from getting what you want. It's all within you, which means you have all the power. So this is really, really good. So you have been manifesting. You get some manifestations and you're happy about it. But the thing that you really want seems like that is impossible. If that is ringing a bell to you, then follow along to the rest of this video because we are going to debunk that right now. I was in the same boat. I used to try to control everything that was going on, and I'd say, this is what I want, and then I would get so disappointed when it wasn't coming as quickly as I thought, and then I would sabotage my efforts altogether. Perhaps you can relate. Here's a prime example, and here's a story that just demonstrates what we do on a regular basis that blocks us from our success. So I was going camping with a group of friends, and I was the one that was booking it. And I was looking at the calendar, and my period is normally really consistent every single month. So I wanted to book the camping trip around that so I wouldn't have my time of month while I was in the bush, because if you're a woman, you know that that's not a vibe. Being in a tent in a bush with your period is not ideal. So I booked the camping trip around the calendar. And when it got to that month, my period was late. Of course, my cycle is always consistent, but that month it was late. And my reaction was, of course this would happen. What? Right there is what's blocking you from getting what you want, is these little subtle default programs that just go, well, of course that would happen to me. Of course it would work out this way. Of course, because I never get what I want. That was my default. Immediately I just go, of course it would happen to me. I would try so hard not to book it while I had my cycle. And I got so mad at the universe. Why? Why is this happening to me? I can manifest money, I can manifest all these other things, but I can't manifest a free camping trip without my cycle. What is, like, this is so annoying. And I got mad at the universe. I got mad at my uterus. I got mad at everything around me. I was so upset. I was so frustrated. And then I got so mean to myself. I was like, of course you'd mess this up. You can't do this right. You never get anything that you want. You're not special. See, this is proof. You don't matter. You're not special. The universe doesn't care. Right? I went into a spiral. Maybe you can relate. Well, this is the exact spiral, the exact verbiage, the exact default program that's preventing you from getting what it is that you want. You don't even know that it's happening. I wasn't even aware that as soon as I didn't get my cycle on the day that I was expecting it, I didn't even know how prominent my default system was that was like, see, you can't have what you want. See, of course this would happen to you. Of course it didn't. Of course it would come late this month. Of course it would. That is the problem. This is what we're doing. We are shooting ourselves in the foot with just our subtle thoughts, but we're not even aware because they're subtle. We've thought about this before. This has happened to me before. I've had this experience before. So it becomes an expectation, and this is what's blocking us. So in the moment that I realized what I was doing, that I was saying, of course it wouldn't come the day I thought it was, I started to laugh. I laughed so hard, and I was laughing at how I was trying to white knuckle, like my ego was trying to white knuckle my uterus to go along with my plan. And I was upset and thinking that I wasn't good enough because it wasn't. And I just started laughing. Oh my gosh, I laughed. And that laughter felt so good. And I realized that time is an illusion. And when we are trying to manifest with time, we are going to mess it up every time because the universe doesn't speak with time. And it's not about you controlling your life. It's about you learning how to surrender to the idea that it's already done, that you don't have to manipulate it. That is this whole secret. That is what I learned so prominently through this lesson. And it's the greatest lesson that I've ever had, because once you can truly surrender and not white knuckle and try to control and manipulate everything and make everything mean something bad if it doesn't go your way. Like, oh, of course this would happen to me. No. Laugh, relax, and be like, there is a greater story here. There is a much greater story. And in this example, I also want to say that the week that I would have booked if I wasn't going with my cycle, it rained the entire time. So I booked it the next week because I thought that was my free week. I wouldn't have my cycle. And it was the most beautiful weather we could have ever planned. So when you think it's not working out, it actually is, and you have to understand that you're not being punished. The universe does not hate you. You are being spoiled every step of the way, and what you think is not working in your favor actually is. And this is why your manifestations aren't coming in, because you're creating this bogus story, this meaning that is totally bogus. That's not right at all, but you're just not wired to support yourself, to believe in you. So what you have to do here is relax, surrender your ego, come back to the idea that the universe is always supporting you. You are completely backed up. Number 2, believe in yourself. Believe that everything's working out for you, that you are good enough, that you are deserving, that nothing's wrong, everything's right. And when you start to practice this, you will notice that it will come. And my period came a couple days before my camping trip. I only had it for a couple days at the beginning of the camping trip. Everything was fine and the weather was perfect. So honestly, it all worked out. Nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about. Everything that you want is coming. And then when I stepped back even further and I said, I have a healthy body. My body's working. That's amazing. I have this fully functioning machine that I don't have to worry about. I don't tell it when to pump air. I don't tell it when to do anything. The cells figure out how to make a liver. The cells figure out what to do with the kidney. I don't have to worry about that complexity. And that is something to be grateful for. But we often go to what we're not grateful for, how things aren't working out for us. And we have to switch that default. Spend more time laughing, more time in gratitude, and more time believing that you are supported and that you are on path. Here's the thing, spiraling into the depths of despair does not make your manifestations come in quicker. Getting mad, trying to control things, getting frustrated, this is you trying to effort, and the universe doesn't respond to effort, it responds to energy. If you are vibrationally aligned with what it is that you truly desire, you are going to get it no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're not getting what you want, it's because you're not vibrationally aligned. There's still something in your default system that's preventing you from being in the flow. We don't delay our manifestations because we're not doing enough. We delay them because we're doing too much control, too much negativity, too much frustration, too much against ourselves. We are thinking too much in the opposite of what we want.